Whoa, I cannot believe I did it. 1,000 videos in 1 year. And that propelled me to over 125,000 subscribers. And I'm gonna share with you how I did it. All the techniques and tricks that I learned along the way to dramatically speed up my production time. Let's do this. What's up, y'all? It's John Master Lee here, helping all you YouTubers out there to level up like a boss. Now, if you're new to this channel, I'm all about running interesting experiments to validate what works and what doesn't. In fact, I think experimentation is a great hallmark of what a great entrepreneur is. We get so caught up in trying to grow our business that we never stop to think what actually works and doesn't. So for this experiment, I really want to test out the old experiment of, is it quantity or quality that makes you successful on YouTube? In this particular video, I just want to focus on the quantity piece. How many videos I could crank out in 1 year. Now, the first thing you have to realize is that I did do this full time. I quit my job to become a YouTuber full time, which allowed me to post every single day. And when I mean every single day, I mean that I worked through the weekends and actually worked through most of the holidays as well, which included Christmas and Thanksgiving. And shoot, even my birthday did not take a day off. And on some days when I did happen to not have time to post up because I'm on travel, I would save up enough videos created the day before to be able to make sure that I don't miss a day. Now, a couple of things here, right? I'm gonna put these all into major buckets of things that I'd done. And the first one that was really important was that before I even started to make a video, I had to determine what was the right balance of quantity versus quality versus monetization. Because if you focus on quality early on, you absolutely will spend a lot more time producing your videos. Most of your time is going to be spent on shooting and editing, and the quality comes from doing a lot of additional steps to make things just perfect. So what I tried to do instead was recognize that early on, as a new YouTuber, most of my stuff was just shite. It was not going to be great quality. It was much more important for me to be able to learn one new technique, one new trick to improve my videos one step at a time. So I would say about halfway through the year, I was getting very comfortable with what I was doing, and I was liking the quality bar that I was starting to hit. The other thing to think about here was that certain types of video requires more production time. And you can argue that it's because it requires a higher level of quality production in order to pull off. So for instance, I realized that making reaction videos was something that I could do pretty rapidly once I knew the process. I could crank out about 3 reaction videos a day versus a couple of vlogs a week versus 1 travel video every week or 2. And these travel videos take a lot more time because you have to spend time traveling. I try to get drone shots as well. I have to have a script. There's a lot of planning of what to go see and what I want to capture in my videos. So basically the calendar of videos that I created reflected a mix of content that I could produce on a daily basis, mixed with content that would take longer to produce. And that was really key for me to be able to be consistent about posting every day. Now, when it comes to monetization, the one thing I try to do is avoid chasing the 10-minute mark. For all you YouTubers out there, you know what I mean. For me, it was much more important to hit about 5 minutes to 8-minute mark to be able to make sure I stayed on the quantity train. All right, so the other big thing that I focused on here was discipline and mastery. And what I mean by that is it was important for me to learn the right techniques of how to use the tools and the right way to use the gear that I had. So I spent a lot of time trying to constantly level up, trying to figure out how my gear works, in particular the camera, and learning what like an ISO is, what an f-stop is, how to get things into focus, as well as using the tools like Adobe Premiere, Adobe Photoshop, and even After Effects. It made a huge difference in terms of production speeds once I master these. And the other thing that really helped for me was to have the discipline to create a checklist of things that I need to have ready every time I shoot and every time I edit. This makes sure that I don't miss anything that honestly happens way too often whenever I'm out there doing stuff when I was first starting, like forgetting to turn on the audio on the microphone.
Epic fail.
Or not bringing enough batteries with you, so you have to come back home and grab some additional batteries to go out and reshoot stuff. Saves a lot of time when you're prepared. So the other thing that helped me dramatically improve my production time to allow me to crank out 1,000 videos is having a dedicated pipeline. So what you see here around me, this setup is a mini studio in our home. In fact, our whole living room is pretty much converted to this studio, and it's here all the time. We never tear it down. And in fact, it's not just the backdrop you see, but this table, all the lights, all my equipment is here. It is all connected to one switch that I can literally hit and all the lights and equipment turn on. It saves me a lot of time. In fact, when I didn't have this set up, I would easily futz around for about half an hour to getting everything set up and then another 15 minutes to tear down. So that basically cut out about 45 minutes of my time every single day. Now, what I love about using studio lights is that everything's already at the right setting, which includes my camera, which means that there's very little additional work I need to do in post to try to get everything to look right. And in fact, if I were to open up the curtains right now, you would see that it is pitch black out there. There is nothing going on outside because it's the middle of the night here in Las Vegas. I guess you could call me a night owl because I love working late. And at least in Las Vegas, everything's open 24 hours. So I love it. Now, having this set up this way also saves me time in filming as well, because what I try to do with all my videos, including my vlogs and my travel videos, is include a mix of voiceovers and some commentary that I will make with the camera. This saves me time from doing stuff out in the field and just doing it right here, and then I can film everything in just one day. I'll set aside one day to do a batch of reaction videos, commentary, voiceovers. Saves me a lot of time. Now, in terms of simplifying my production process, some of you have already noticed that I wear the same thing. I would say that most of you actually notice that Lulu wears the same thing because I guess it is pretty unusual for a female to not change up her wardrobe in front of the camera. But yes, it was a very deliberate thing that we did where both of us would wear black. And it's for two reasons. One is that cutting out the time of trying to figure out what your wardrobe is a huge time saver for us, and also reduces sort of anxiety you have in terms of trying to figure out that look. It's a technique that I learned from people like President Obama and Mark Zuckerberg, and shoot, I guess you could even say Charlie Brown, because I swear Charlie Brown wears the exact same thing every single time. But yeah, the whole idea is to keep the wardrobe simple because it frees up your mind to think about the more important things. And the other reason why it's actually really useful to wear one color is because when we're capturing our photos for our thumbnails, and we do try to capture still images rather than pulling stuff from the video, it's that we don't have to change outfits when we do that. It makes thumbnail production a lot faster. So now you know the reason why we wear the same thing. Also because, hey, Asian people look good in black, man. Come on.
I get it.
When I'm shooting B-roll, I try to shoot in about 15-second increments. So rather than walk around and capture stuff over a couple of minutes, the 15-second increment. So let's talk about B-roll, quickly eyeball what each of these video segments are about. In addition, I film at 60 frames a second, but when I'm editing, I edit at 30 frames a second, which effectively allows me to treat each B-roll as if it's slow-mo if I wanted to. That's like doubling the amount of footage you have to 30 seconds. In addition, this hack that I love doing is I try to edit more of the video up front, especially in the first couple of minutes when most people are watching, rather than trying to do a lot of editing towards the second half of the video. And the whole idea is here to try to add more variety and to keep it exciting early on, but then halfway through the video, make sure you rely on very strong storytelling and a very compelling conclusion that people want to see, and this will save you a lot of time in editing. Now, if you use Premiere like I do, using templates and plugins is a huge time saver. A lot of the effects that you see that I use and a lot of the sound effects all come from being able to just drag stuff in, saves me a lot of time, and it's one of the things I wish I had learned a lot earlier on. In fact, talking about learning stuff a lot earlier on, that is using shortcuts. I'm not just talking about the default shortcuts that come with Premiere, but customizing your workflow in a way that is optimal for the kind of videos you create. I'm able to cut down the time that takes me on my first pass to edited video because all the major things that I need to do are done with basically 4 fingers on the keyboard. I had remapped all my shortcuts. I love it.
I love it.
When it comes to time-saving hacks, one of the things I try to avoid doing is going out to do reshoots. As tempting as it is to be able just to get the right shot, it saves me a lot of time by simply doing a voiceover and trying to find some B-roll that I could put on top of it. For the most part, I don't think anyone's actually noticed this type of technique that's being used. It's really important that you're always moving forward rather than trying to get too hung up on one thing in one video. And the last thing that has helped me quite a bit is that I learned to delegate. At this point, I am working with an editor. He basically helps me cut out about 10 hours of work a week. He does a lot of the basic edits for me. It took a while to ramp up because I have a very particular style. So I created a 5-page document that walks through all the particular things that I do so that he can match my style. And right now, everything just runs very, very smoothly. And when he first started out, he would take maybe like 20 hours. But like I said, he's down to about 10 hours himself in terms of how to edit my videos. And this also goes for my thumbnails as well, where Lulu has learned to use Photoshop and she is helping me create those thumbnails. And that knocks out about another 5 hours of work for me each week as well. Now, if you want to talk about saving time, using third-party tools is also very helpful. So for me, I use a website like Unsplash, which helps me find really great thumbnail imagery or images to use in my videos. I also use the service Video Blocks, a paid service that lets me find great B-roll for different occasions. And when it comes to music services, I use Artlist.io and Epidemic. Great tools for music. And I would say overall, all these different techniques help me shave off about 70% of the production time that I would normally have to put into when I was first starting off creating videos. Now, there's a bunch of other things here in terms of post-production that you could do as well, but I will save that for another video. What you see so far is my production process, all the different things that I've learned to be able to allow me to create 1,000 videos in 1 year. And I can tell you right now, I will never do this again. Absolutely no way. I love the idea of being able to make a video every single day, but pushing it past that point, well, I'm not physically capable to do it until I basically build out a team. So until then, you all, thanks for watching my videos and make sure you subscribe and I'll catch you later. Peace out.
Don't forget to subscribe. If you like this video, make sure you leave a like.